Hi, I'm Jamie Miller, a registered SQF consultant and food safety consultant at Kellerman Consulting, and you are watching our video series on allergen risks and controls in food facilities. During this video, we will be reviewing allergens in the hazard analysis as part of preventive controls-based food safety plans, as well as allergens in HACCP plans. Allergen controls overseen by regulatory agencies are in line with the issues we discussed in our previous episodes in this series. However, regulatory agencies that require a food safety plan will expect to see allergens included as hazards to be controlled in those food safety plans and a documentation of the allergen controls in place addressing those hazards. Regardless of whether a food facility is regulated by the FDA, FSIS, or under a different regulatory body, food facilities should document and implement allergen controls as described in this series, as well as documenting allergens as hazards in the food safety plans required by regulators. As we look at programs requiring hazard analysis and critical control points, or HACCP plans, allergen controls may be treated as a prerequisite program or as part of the food safety plan. Allergens might be designated as a prerequisite for low-risk facilities that do not handle or process allergens. However, for all seafood facilities, as well as juice facilities and meat and poultry facilities that actively use allergens in products, allergen controls are not prerequisite programs, but are active in the food safety plan each time an allergen is included in operations. Allergens are considered a chemical hazard and should be included in the hazard analysis for each ingredient containing allergens and for each process step where allergens are handled. If the allergen is controlled without monitoring at a step, the justification should detail why the allergen is controlled without monitoring. An example is that cleaning logs for utensils and hand washing procedures control allergens at preparation steps, but we do not have allergen logs for this, so allergens are not monitored. Where allergens are monitored at a step, such as review of allergen scheduling and label reviews, those actions should be included in the hazard analysis as a description of the control. We have monitoring logs in place at places where risks are higher, so every step where monitoring occurs should have an elevated risk level for the severity and likelihood of occurrence in the hazard analysis. Any monitoring log developed to monitor a critical control point that would be a log intended to control an allergen hazard could lead to human or animal harm if not performed correctly each time. For allergen controls, label inspections, or allergen testing are the most commonly identified critical control points for controlling allergens in a food production facility. For preventive controls plans, allergens are required to be assessed as chemical hazards. This is equivalent to HACCP plan expectations. However, a key difference between HACCP-based food safety systems and preventive controls-based food safety systems is the concept of allergen preventive controls. Allergen preventive controls are required under 21 CFR 117.135 and have at every facility operating under preventive controls expectations must plan for allergen preventive controls where allergens are present in the facility. It is the recommendation of Kellerman Consulting that each allergen monitoring forum in operations be designated as an allergen preventive control on the flowchart in the hazard analysis and with a preventive controls plan that includes the person responsible, the frequency, the records, and the corrective actions for those logs. Kellerman Consulting further recommends label review and schedule build as basic allergen preventive controls, with additional controls added where required in specific programs such as special line changeover or cleaning techniques performed specifically to control allergens. A special aspect of allergen preventive controls in the case of juice and seafood is that the HACCP plans at those facilities are regulated by either the State Department of Agriculture or the FDA, and allergen preventive controls are also required for those HACCP plans. So for facilities that have HACCP requirements but also have allergen preventive controls requirements, you may elect to keep allergen preventive controls separate from your HACCP plan. This can be confusing, even for long-time food safety specialists, so please consider seeking guidance from a regulator or consultant if there is confusion between HACCP plans and allergen preventive controls for seafood and juice facilities. Whether a facility operates under HACCP or preventive control systems, records of allergen controls are likely to be reviewed by regulators during inspections where allergens are present. It is important for operations and quality personnel to inspect the facility regularly for allergen controls to make sure proper practices are in place during inspection. Lastly, review of your food safety program, including the allergen controls, must be performed each time the plan's changed and at least every year, so make sure the food safety team schedules and performs these reviews regularly. In our final episode, we are going to discuss GFSI requirements for allergen controls in high-level safety and quality programs. Thank you for watching. For more food safety training videos and resources, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel or follow us on LinkedIn.